Okay, we're going to do a little experiment, Algebra 1A'ers, and this is where I'm going to teach you a lesson on video, and you're going to try to follow it, and then you can always pause, rewind, go back and listen to something, watch it again if you're not sure what happened. So anyway, this will be available to you forever on YouTube should you want to review the method again at the end. And we'll see how you like it, and if you like it, I can keep doing it this way so you can work on problems in class, or if you don't like it, then I'll just keep teaching like I always do. So our final method that we're going to learn for how to solve a system of equations is by doing elimination, except now elimination is going to include multiplication in it. So right now we've just been doing elimination by adding or subtracting. Now we have to do one extra by multiplying a certain row, or each row by a different number, to try to get your x's to cancel or your y's to cancel first. Now it doesn't matter which variable you choose, it's really up to you. Sometimes people like to choose the variables that already have opposite signs. So if this y is negative, this y is positive, so I could multiply and try to cancel these out. Or if the x's are both positive, so you might want to choose the x's anyway, and then all you have to do is multiply the second row by a number, so it's a little bit easier if we choose to cancel the x's. So what do I mean by that? So I'm going to choose a different color for each row. So this first row, I can just rewrite it exactly as it is. So 2x minus 3y equals 4. But my second row, which I'm going to do in blue, if I want my x's to cancel here, and this one's already a 2x, then I have to multiply this second row by a negative 2. That way a negative 2 times x would be negative 2x, and then our x's would cancel each other out. We would eliminate the x's, therefore only having a y and solving from there. So let's multiply this second row by negative 2. But remember, when you multiply the second row by negative 2, we have to multiply every single number, every single term in this equation. Not just one, but all three, including the right-hand side, which has the negative 9. So again, let's rewrite the first row, which is 2x minus 3y equals 4. My second row, I'm going to rewrite it with the multiplication. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 4y is negative 8y. And negative 2 times negative 9 is equal to positive 18. So now I can just add straight down, right? So 2x minus 2x is 0x, so these cancel each other out. Negative 3y and negative 8y is negative 11y, right? Negative 3 plus negative 8 is negative 11. And 4 plus 18 is 22. Divide each side. Because negative 11 is being multiplied by y, we get rid of it by dividing by negative 11. So now we have y equals negative 2. 22 divided by negative 11 is negative 2. So remember, this is the y value in the ordered pair where these two lines intersect. So the solution is the ordered pair, or the point where the two lines intersect. And the y value of that point is negative 2. So now you can go back to the first equation or the second equation. If I go ahead and go back to my first equation, which I wrote in red, I can now substitute for y and put in my negative 2 here. And that's how I'll solve for x. So I get 2x minus 3 times negative 2. Right, so I substituted in y with negative 2. And now I simply distribute negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. I move my 6 to the other side first by subtracting 6. Oops, row 4 there. By subtracting 6. So I bring down, I get a 2x equals 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Divide each side by 2. So x equals negative 1. So my solution is -1, -2. Now, if you want to do a quick check, a la Abby style, right, you just plug in these numbers and see if they work. So this second equation was x plus 4y equals -9, so let's check it. Does -1 plus 4 times -2 equal -9? Well, -1, 4 times -2 is -8. And yes, -1 minus 8 is -9. -9 equals -9. You should check with the other one, just to make sure you did it correctly. 2 times -1 minus 3 times -2, does that equal 4? So -2, this becomes +6. Yes, it equals 4, so I've checked. So now I know for sure that this is, in fact, the correct answer. So now we're just going to practice with 3 others. So here, look at your rows, right? We have our second row, which I was making the blue row, the first row, which is the red row, and maybe see if there's one row you can just multiply one number by to get some kind of variable, your x variable or your y variable, to be eliminated or cancel each other out. So here I have a 4 and a 3. Well, that's not easy. I can't just multiply this row by 2 to get a 3, or multiply this row by 2 or 1 or some number to get a 4. But here with this column, I have a -5 and a 10y. So if I multiply this first row by -2, multiply by just by 2, just by 2, then this will become a -10y, and +10y and -10y will cancel each other out. So I'm going to multiply the first row by 2. Sorry, I don't know why my brain is thinking -2. I'm going to multiply the first row by 2. So when I do that and I distribute, I get 2 times 4x, which is 8x, 2 times -5y, which is -10y, 2 times 23, which is 46. Now if you notice, this became a -10y, this is a +10y, so I'm just going to write my blue row right below it. And now I don't need to do anything special, because my 10y's are opposite signs, which means when I add straight down, they're going to cancel each other out. So add straight down, 8x plus 3x is 11x. -10y plus 10y cancels and becomes 0. 46 plus 31 is equal to 77. I divide each side by 11, so therefore x equals 7. So once again, I have solved for part of the solution. The x coordinate of the point where these two lines intersect is 7, so that's part of my solution. How do I get the other part? Well, I go ahead and stick with my first row, go back to the original, which is 4x minus 5y equals 23. I'm going to substitute in 7, right, for x. So I do 4 times 7 minus 5y equals 23. I multiply this out. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 minus 5y equals 23. I have to move the 28 over to the other side, so I subtract 28 from both sides. I bring down, notice this minus sign in front, so it's a -5y. And 23 minus 28 gives me -5. So now I divide each side by -5, so I get y equals +1. So again, my solution is 7, 1. Of course, you should do a quick check. So if you have time, go ahead and plug these two numbers into 3x plus 10y equals 31 and check it. So 3 times 7 plus 10 times 1, does that equal 31? 21 plus 10 equals 31, yes it does. So this must be correct. Okay, moving on to number 3. What I want you to do now is I want you to pause. I want you to work through this problem on your own. And then once you get your answer, you can check it. And if it checks out correctly, you don't need to watch this anymore because you know what you're doing. But if you don't get the right answer and you can't figure out your error, then go back and watch how I solve it. Okay, so go ahead and pause now and try it on your own. Okay, so if you have solved and you got -3, then you did it correctly. If you didn't, then you should try to pause again and go back and catch your mistake. If you've done that and you're frustrated, then you should watch this and listen and try to figure out where you made your mistake. So the hardest part is trying to decide which letter you're going to cancel. Are you going to eliminate the S's or are you going to eliminate the T's? Well, to me, the T's have opposite signs already, so then I don't have to multiply any row by a negative number. So I went ahead and tried to cancel my T's. So I multiplied my first row by +2, and I multiplied my second row by +5. So the first row I did in red, 4s minus 5t equals 3, and I'm multiplying that by 2. So I distribute 2 times 4s equals 8s, 2 times -5t is -10t, and then 2 times 3 is equals 6. And then my second row I said I multiplied by 5, so it's 5 times this quantity, 3s plus 2t equals -15. So 5 times 3s is 15s, 5 times 2t is 10t, and 5 times -15 is -75. I put those two new rows, one above the other, so then I can see that the -10t and +10t cancel each other out. So 8s plus 15s is 23s when I add straight down. The 10t's cancel out, and 6 minus or plus a -75 equals -69. Divide each side by 23. -69 divided by 23 is -3. And remember, we do this in alphabetical order, so it's S and then T. So -3 is first. Now I went and I plugged in S to the variable in either row. I went with the first row again. So I went back to the original. Notice I'm going back to the original. So I have 4s minus 5t equals 3. I plug in -3 for s, so 4 times -3 is -12. So -12 minus 5t equals 3. I add 12 to both sides. I bring down my -5t. 3 plus 12 is 15. Divide each side by -5. So I get t equals -3. So my answers are -3, -3. If you want to do a quick check for your answer, there you have it. I did, it works. So therefore I know that it's correct. Again, pause for the last one. Try to figure out the last one, see how you do, and then unpause to check it. Okay, finally for number 4, if you did the work, you should have gotten +2, -1 as your solution, as the point where the two lines intersect. So notice all of these A's were both positive, the B's were both positive, so we were going to have to multiply one of these rows by a negative number to get something to cancel. So I chose to multiply my first row by 5 to get a 15A here, and multiply my second row by -3, so I'd get a -15A, so my A's would be the ones eliminated. So I multiplied by 5, I distributed to get 15A plus 10B, 15A plus 20B equals 10, and then here I multiplied by -3 to get -15A minus 27B equals -3. I lined them up, added straight down, these A's cancel, 20B minus 27B is -7B, 10 minus 3 is 7, divide each side by -7, I get B equals -1. Again, we put it in alphabetical order, A comes before B, B was what I just solved for, so that's the y coordinate of this ordered pair where the two lines intersect. So then I have to take either row, but I'm just choosing the first row. So I chose 3a plus 4b equals 2. I'm substituting in -1 for my b value right here. So 3a plus 4 times -1 equals 2. That's 3a. Positive 4 times -1 is -4. Therefore, I have to add 4 to both sides. So I get 3a equals 6. Divide each side by 3. Therefore, a equals 2. So it looks like my solution is this. Again, check it. I'm choosing the other the other equation in order to check. So I plug in 2 for A, I plug in -1 for B. 10 minus 9 is equal to 1, yes it is, so therefore we know it's correct. That's it. Ask me questions if you have any. Otherwise, get started on your homework.